and since this is the big beat 'em up shows, there's different categories of beat 'em ups you can put out there. I mean, obviously they all fall under the beat 'em up category, but you have your ones that are more like 70s or 80s, like in the street kind of style, like your Double Dragon and Final Fight, or your 64th Street and Mug Smashers, some we'll talk about a little bit later today. And then you got the more fantasy based ones where you have, Rastan 3 Warrior Blade, and you have the Dungeons and Dragons games, Tower of Doom and Shadow of Mystaria, which those are two amazing games. And then you have Knights of the Round, King of Dragons.
You have Dark Seal.
Yeah. Oh, well, no. See, the Dark Seal games, I would not
consider that a beat 'em up?
I do not consider the Dark Seals a beat 'em up. I consider them more of in the hack and slash dungeon crawler category, that more in line with Gauntlet. See, that's where the line gets a little blurry. It does, and that's part of the purpose of today's show is to clarify that for everyone. And but Rastan 3, that's definitely a beat 'em up, absolutely. Before we get into our topic on beat 'em ups, I made this little clip here to showcase just how good at beat 'em ups that are on the iiRcade. So let's check it out. First up, we have Double Dragon. I could not make this list without including this iconic beat 'em up, and of course, it's a great sequel as well. Double Dragon 2, both highly recommended. And next up, we have Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja. This is another early beat 'em up, and it's really a lot of fun, and it has aged rather well. And yeah, so give Bad Dudes a go. It's definitely a fun beat 'em up, old school style, 80s style beat 'em up. So yeah, Bad Dudes. And next up, we got a modern beat 'em up, and this is Mayhem Brawler. And I actually am playing as She-Wolf here. And what's cool about this game is, unlike the old ones, you cannot quarter your way through it, so you actually have to use your skills and worry about your health and all that stuff. But Mayhem Brawler is a highly, highly recommended beat 'em up to definitely give a try here on the iiRcade. And next up, we have 64th Street, a detective story, and this is a fun kind of Final Fight knockoff, if you will, kind of beat 'em up. But what I found to be really interesting about this game is you can actually throw people through the buildings and stuff, and that is an awesome game mechanic that this game features. And like I said, the play style is very much like Final Fight. So yeah, 64th Street, give it a go. It's actually a lot of fun. And then next up, we have Night Slashers. My boy CT Jason did an awesome game spotlight on this, so I recommend you guys go and check that out. I'll put the link in here right now. But yeah, here I am playing as the girl ninja. And look, what do we have here? Oh, we have CT Jason. He don't want the smoke. Look at it. He's taking him down. He ain't nothing. He don't want it. And yeah, Night Slashers is a lot of fun.
He's gonna eat the sewer hot dog.
For sure. When you find a hot dog in the sewer that's got smoke coming from it, you know you want to eat it. You know you need to. You want that hot dog. So yeah, and you got to fight this James Woods knockoff character. And yeah, Night Slash. Check out CT Jason's awesome review. And speaking of awesome review, How to Bachelor here.
Sorry about that. But as you see, you just be beating down folks. There you got Machete throwing around a thing, doing a little Tasmanian devil action. This game is just like stupid fun.
Thanks, How to Bachelor.
How to Bachelor.
And final up, we have Shadow Force. Now this is a very unique beat 'em up, and it actually uses all 6 buttons, and you can control a werewolf kind of dude named Coyote, even though he's more like a werewolf than a coyote. And you can play as ninjas, a male ninja and a girl ninja, and a strong man kind of dude. But yeah, I highly, highly recommend Shadow Force, a very underrated gem here on the iiRcade, and I'll be getting into this game shortly, so stay tuned, everyone. Yeah, so there's just a quick taste of some of the highlights here on the iiRcade. And as far as Shadow Force go, I saw somebody say something in the comments that's going up the rankings, and I absolutely agree. We did a poll about the top beat 'em ups on the iiRcade on our channel during our community page, and I'll put that up right now.
Shadow Force looks really good. I've got to try that one.
I didn't. We talked about the entries, and I didn't put Shadow Force on there, and it broke my heart to not do it because I would absolutely take Mug Smashers and 64th Street off and put Shadow Force in its place, and that would be the list for me personally.
It's probably just one of those unknown gems, right? Like that people just don't realize that it's there, how good it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should do a spotlight on that one.
Yep, down the road.
Yeah, I think it's coming next week, everyone. So
there we
stay
go.
tuned for that.
There we go.
What's interesting about this poll here, though, is how Double Dragon and Mayhem Brawler have tied. And as you can see, I did in fact vote for Double Dragon. That was this is from my Facebook.
Oh, you voted in our own poll?
Hey, Mikey J Productions gets a vote. Why not? You know, but
I didn't vote.
Double Dragon is one of the originals, and then you have Mayhem Brawlers on the other end is one of the new ones. And yeah, so that's
yeah, it kind of reinforces there is that 50% split. Like 50% of the people want all new games, and like 50% seem to want all retro. But I mean, they're doing both, which is good. I just hope they keep it up.
You guys are not
accepted by Mayhem Brawlers because Double Dragon was free.
Oh, that's
I'm
true.
just saying.
Everybody's got that one.
yeah, but it is a AAA all-time classic arcade game as well, though. CT.
You're right.
I mean, you
I
can't.
ain't hating on Double Dragon. I love it. I'm just saying.
So if you didn't get a chance to vote in this poll, it's probably because you're not subscribed to the channel.
Oh.
So you need to be subscribed to the channel so you can see these polls because we put them in the community post thing. And I don't think you'll see those if you're not subscribed. So you got to be subscribed, people. Come on now.
Come on.
Hit that subscribe button.
And so now let's go into our topic of the day, and let's talk about all things beat 'em up. And to get this ball rolling, I'm gonna talk about the differences between a beat 'em up, a hack and slash, and a run and gun. And now a beat 'em up is very specific. It's it's hand-to-hand combat. You can have a weapon, but a weapon is not absolutely necessary. But whoever's clicking there is rather annoying.
Sorry about that.
What a hack and slash. Now that is more like a gauntlet kind of game, and it's more of a dungeon crawler. Okay, and that's why the Dark Seal games, especially the first one, I would definitely put more into the dungeon crawler hack and slash category. Now the second one is kind of blurring the lines a little bit because some of these ones do, like Gauntlet, like Legends, and Dark Legacy, like where but I would still say they're dungeon crawler hack and slashes and not a beat 'em up. So
dungeon crawl would be what I would call it, yeah.
And then the run and guns, you have Metal Slug and Contra, and then on the iiRcade we have the Thunder Hoops games and the Gun Force games. They're definitely more of the run and gun, whereas a beat 'em up is very, very specific kind of style of game. And
so where would you say, so if you're going to say like run and gun, hack and slash, platformer, they're all kind of very similar. It's just a matter of what kind of weapon you're using. Is that the idea?
Yeah,
like a gun versus a blade?
Well, and not in all beat 'em ups. Like Bad Dudes doesn't have like a power bar on the enemies, and Double Dragon doesn't either. But they can get knocked down and get back up. And whereas most of your platforming games, like Rastan 1, for example, I mean that's got to be something that came out of the platforming genre because there is a lot of platforming elements to it. But they just took the weapon, but you usually hit the bad guy once and they go down.
Hey, can I add something?
Yeah.
I'm not a massive beat 'em up fan, but I have a friend who's a massive beat 'em up fan, How to Bachelor. So I asked him what he thought made a good beat 'em up, and this was his response. He says he likes the games with the licensed characters like X-Men, Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles, and Simpsons. Those hold nostalgia. He likes other fun beat 'em ups. The art, sound, and fighting style are a big part of what he feels makes a good beat 'em up. Also, with beat 'em ups, it's if it has a good special move mechanic, that is a huge benefit in the beat 'em up.
Yeah.
And he talked about special moves like the pots and golden axe, the Tasmanian devil and mug smashers, and the difficulty progressing with a mix of enemies. He also mentioned that in beat 'em ups, you should look at the boss mechanics. I mean, are the bosses you can just roll right through them, or are they tough? But I thought he had some really good insights, and I talked to him before I did my review of Warrior Blade to get his feedback. But thanks a lot, Brian. I appreciate your help.
Yeah, some really good ones. Yeah,
I
would say to add to that, the boss mechanic. There's so many beat 'em ups now that the boss mechanic is go up to the boss and hit him a whole bunch of times and pop a bunch of quarters in there, and there's not a lot of strategy to it at all. Like there's no learning how to do the boss. It's just walk up to and hit it. And even some of the best beat 'em ups, that's all they've got, you know. But the other thing he mentioned, or you mentioned that he said special move mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
One that I guess I dislike is when there's a special move, but it takes your life to do it, right? Like if you do the special move, you lose 10% of your life every time you do it. That discourages me from ever wanting to do the special move. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I really don't like when games do that. I would rather have a meter for that separate, or a finite number of bombs you can use or something. But I don't like when they make you take your life to do the special move. I don't know, something about that. I just don't like it.
I agree.
It comes from the greed mechanic of them wanting you to put more quarters in it when it was an arcade game, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. I know why they do it.
100%. We got a cool comment from Ronsky. He missed the beginning of the show. Did we discuss how easy Rastian 3 was? And I think that's both a blessing and a curse. Because, I mean, like, you played it with your daughter, right, Jeff?
Yeah, and so I thought it was
Did she really enjoy it? Like, I
really did enjoy it.
I played the game with my grandson, and we play Double Dragon all the time, and he's constantly having to coin up all the time. And so he's just constantly putting the coins in. But he really enjoyed the Warrior Blade because of that. But, you know, would be a great add-on, and, you know, I don't want to be critical, but a room for improvement with that game would be, normally I like every game having the same settings, but in that case, it might be good to have just like a difficulty adjustment, like an easy, medium, and hard. Because for, you know, advanced gamers, they're not going to have, I mean, it might be too easy. But that is a good comment. So
really
thank you
good
for
point.
that.
So the question I think then becomes is how easy is that to implement, right? Is it even possible? And that's the question for Michael at, iiRcade. Is the code in such a way that it's even an option? Sometimes it's like, no, there's no way for us to change that from the original code.
And then sometimes we ask for leaderboards, and like 2 or 3 days later we have them. So I mean, like, that is true.
I think every
they are
game's
listening, and they do listen to the community. And
Well,
if that's possible, we would like this difficulty levels in some of these games. That would be cool.
But or if they leave the difficulty alone, but some way they can work in leaderboards.
You don't need to make Truxton any harder.
Let's down the difficulty in that one.
Yeah, please.
But now, let me say this though: if you're gonna make difficulty levels, there need to be multiple leaderboards, because you can't have people playing on easy mode and hard mode for the same leaderboard. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
But are there leaderboards on Warrior Blade? So is it a non-issue?
No, there's not. But
so it's a non-issue.
I'm just saying. But if they added leaderboards to it and kept the difficulty where it is, that would entice it, because now you're still looking for your, you got 1 quarter to earn X amount of points to get on that leaderboard. So no matter the difficulty of the game, it's kind of a moot point at that point, is what I'm saying.
And I think it's okay for them to look at it game by game too, Like Warrior Blade might be a game that would benefit from a more difficult mode, but a lot of them don't, But that is one that they could maybe have a more difficult mode.
I think Rich Odello's got a point there. They may only have the compiled code, not the full access to the whole thing. It's got to be from a game-to-game perspective. And I suspect if they had the option to do different difficulty modes, they probably would have done that probably.
While we're on the Warrior Blade topic too, I mean, they were talking about like how like one part of the screen has smoothing and the other part doesn't. Like I really didn't even notice that when I was playing it. I played it like several times all the way through. But I mean, it's not a game-breaking thing. It's very minor.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice it until you guys pointed it out. So
I didn't either.
I didn't
It's a great game and it's fun, but I'm sure they're going to fix it. But it's just to say that no, don't get that game because of that is ridiculous, because that game is awesome.
Everybody's picky about different things, though, so some people are, aspect ratio and scan lines and all that stuff really matters a lot to them. For me, gameplay first and foremost, as long as that's pinpoint.
Absolutely. Optimize the gameplay is the most important feature.
And then,
well, I think it's cool, the aspect ratio, because it was a dual screen game. So it's really wide, and it actually makes the playfield really cool, especially when you're playing as the CT Jason character with the machete. You're really good, But but some people might not like this. Some people might look at that as a negative thing and go, "I don't like how there's these big bars at the top and the bottom." And other people might look at it as a good thing because they're preserving the wide aspect ratio. It just kind of depends, to each his own, right?
I kind of looked at it like from the arcade purist, like keeping the aspect ratio was like what I was a fan of. Like I want my arcade games to be as accurate to the original as they can be.
Right.
That's just what I judge them by.
I didn't really notice it when I was playing.
I didn't either. I mean, honestly, I played it a bunch.
Yeah. So, CT, you have any thoughts you want to chime in about the beat 'em ups?
Not too much. I mean, I love me some beat 'em ups. In the iiRcade, it's got a lot of them. A whole lot of them. I had a review I was about to make, but I didn't have enough time to finish it. I played that Combat Tribes game. I really liked that game. That game was good.
Yeah. Oh, I got a question to ask you guys. What do you think, if you could, because beat 'em ups are so good on arcade machines. They're really good. They translate well on arcades. And if you could pick like some beat 'em up games, or maybe a beat 'em up game that we don't have on the iiRcade, like a wish list, like what do you want to see? What would be a beat 'em up that you would love to have on the iiRcade?
The Punisher.
Shredder's Revenge and Streets of Rage 4.
Okay.
I'm going
I agree. I want that Shredder's Revenge. It looks good.
I think Alien vs. Predator would be a good one. I don't know how hard that'd be to license, so Shredder's Revenge definitely. But I want to see Castle. I can't even say it. Castle Crashers. That was a really fun one.
Yeah, Castle Crashers.
I would love to see.
I know y'all said that don't count, but that's a good one.
I would love to see Spider-Man from Sega.
Yeah.
Spider-Man the video game.
Yeah, that one could be
That's
possible.
a Sega.
Yeah.
I know Capcom might be hard, but Sega might be something they could get.
I know for me personally, as much as I like the old games, and I do like the old games, one huge advantage of Mayhem Brawlers is the fact that it's a modern game. It has modern sensibilities to an old genre. And as such, you can't just quarter your way through it. So it adds, so it brings that original authenticity back. Because back when we were playing these games, we only had $5 or whatever. So you had to make them quarters count, man.
If you get one where it's just a quarter your way through it kind of game, those ones are not as good on the home arcades because you have unlimited quarters. So it kind of ruins that to me. The ones that are the best are the ones that have some replay value to them or have some different mechanic or different strategic way of doing it. Maybe some RPG elements, or you can level up your character or that kind of thing. Like that, those make for more interesting home arcade beat 'em ups to me.
Right, and that's
not just quarter your way through it.
Yeah, I did enjoy Mayhem Brawlers because of that. It had that modern element, which did make it different. Even though, it was more enjoyable playing for me on an arcade.
Yeah, absolutely. But and as far as like the originals go, Double Dragon still holds up extremely well. And the reason why is because, I mean, I know that, Roy Mason, he could elbow his way through it on one quarter, but, for the rest of us, schmucks out there, it's a hard game. And still, like, even though you can quarter your way through it,
it is hard, but it is timeless. It holds its fun. Like my grandson loves Double Dragon. Every time he came, that was the game he wanted to play until I got the Warrior Blade game. Now he likes that one because it's, it's fun.
Yeah, they're definitely what I play with my son the most. The beat 'em ups and the shmups are usually our go-to. And that and Bomb Squad. He likes Bomb Squad.
I'm trying to figure out what game Mike Hawk is talking about that's coming in April. Is it a beat 'em up, Mike? I don't know. He knows something that we don't about a game coming out in April, apparently.
Huh.
It says he can neither confirm nor deny that one of his favorite games of all time is coming in April. So
yeah. I think Roy might have given us a hint that Double Dragon might be one of the first games too on online. Well, that would be
online, yeah.
I think everyone that has an iiRcade would have that game because it's a pack-in game.
Yeah, you want to.
I feel like they're going to want to do some of the pack-in games for the online because they're going to need to test it, right? Mm-hmm. So it would make sense that they do some of the ones that everybody has access to.
Because you get a massive amount of people playing at once too.
Right. Exactly.
Well, and I mean, and we think about the fact that there's been rumors of a possible Double Dragon arcade 1-up cabinet, and a lot of people are talking about online about it. Like, if these rumors are true, and why wouldn't they be, that Double Dragon might be one of the early releases that we see for our online, because it is a pack-in game. It's only logical, that, again, what's the...
That competition, gotta get that out there online before the competition does. I get it.
That is true.
What's going on here? Or wouldn't that put a wrench in arcade 1-ups plans? If that was the first games that come out that is online for Double Dragon.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And we know they have it running because Rexer played online at the show he went to.
Oh, that's a good point.
Show Brad. Rexer was playing Double Dragon online, so we know that's a good to go and it's already working fine.
Oh man, there it is.
So we're speculating. We really don't know 100%, but it seems like a natural choice that would be a good starting game for them to launch.
I've never heard of Undercover Cops, Zod Rider. He says
I believe that's a Sega game as well. Undercover Cops is.
Hey, Zod Rider says he's surprised Ninja Kids doesn't get much more love.
Oh yeah, we didn't even say anything about Ninja Kids. I've never played that one actually.
I don't have it on iiRcade, but I have it on the cab that I'm sitting at right now, and it's because for me it's good. It's a good beat 'em up. Same with Ninja Clowns. I mean, they're good, solid beat 'em ups, but I mean, if I'm honest, the ones that we mentioned, I think are better. And that's not to, throw shade at any other game. I mean, I think they're all good, but I mean, this is the beat 'em up show, and we're talking about which ones we like the best. And like I said, one of my big things was, and we'll get into it next week, is Shadow Force. I mean, go check that game.
And I think as we do more and more shows, people need to be introduced to a lot of games they might not have seen before that are really good games and maybe just haven't played them before. And, I hope to keep growing that.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, we got the iiRcadians merch store. If you want to take a little piece of the show with you, you can get it right here. Enjoy.